One Zambia, One Nation. Good evening and welcome to ZANIS Main News. I'm Ethel Chanda to present it. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Hichilema commits to working with diverse stakeholders. Government to realign national budget. Government ponders to aid ZANIS. Plus all set for Nchwala ceremony. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has reiterated government's commitment to working with other stakeholders such as the Economic Growth Forum and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to devise tangible solutions that can boost the country's economy. President Hichilema has cited mining and agriculture as key sectors that government has identified to grow the economy. Speaking when he officially opened the Economic Growth Forum in Lusaka, President Hichilema, however, expressed displeasure that out of 200 registered mining companies, only 7 paid taxes to the government last year. More in the following report.
Government is on the economic expansion agenda to be able to create jobs for the Zambian people. For this reason, President Hakainde Hichilema has commended the Economic Growth Forum and other stakeholders for bringing a high-level meeting to Zambia anchored on economic recovery. He was speaking when he opened the Economic Growth Forum in Lusaka.
Economic Growth Forum, but really it's about our economic growth agenda, which we have set out very clearly. Even in our days in opposition, we're very clear that the economy, its growth, and working with the private sector as one, unlike them against us, we will be the center really of our government. Because we know that if the economy is functional, it's growing, it's expanding, like we've dubbed this year, the year of economic expansion, 4 jobs for our youthful population, 4 business opportunities expansion, 4 social support ultimately, in that order, carefully structured in that order. Economic expansion, 4 jobs, 4 business opportunities, and for sustainable social support. That's the way it works. So we're very delighted that IGC, IMF, you are working with us on this central theme of our government. Thank you for the work you've been doing behind the scenes. I had a meeting with my colleague, the IGC upstairs, before coming down here. Very good session, and I see his presentation, very summarized presentation, runs the theme that we discussed, the issues we discussed upstairs. And yesterday I had a meeting with the IMF colleagues. I believe we had a very good meeting. Again, in there we focused on the things that we need to do, given the challenges that we face, global challenges, Africa regional challenges, and country challenges. We still want to keep, and we emphasize to keep our eyes on the ball to grow this economy for obvious benefits.
And International Growth Center Executive Director urged government to fully invest in the agriculture and mining sectors
that need redesign. So FISIP, most importantly, responsible for about 73% of the agricultural budget last year. If that can be reformed in combination with new policies, then within the same budget, there's a lot that can be done. Your Excellency, you've already mentioned the role of irrigation. There also is a big role, we believe, for making better use of digital services, digital extension and credit support, new credit windows, also adaptation generally, so that we're not only increasing yields, but making it more resilient to climate change.
IMF Deputy Director for African Department highlighted the objective of the Economic Growth Forum.
Today it has been a great opportunity to bring together policymakers, academics, and have really a very frank exchange of views and ideas between them. Our discussions since yesterday have touched upon Zambia's transformative journey that has really reshaped its macroeconomic landscape.
Area Minister of Finance and National Planning, Stumbeko Msokotwane, outlined some of the achievements government has scored so far.
Mr. President, the confidence that we so much require in this economy has come back strongly. Those mining sectors that said they were going to leave, they've stayed and putting more money in our economy. And of course, others have been taking a look, making announcements of new findings, pledging more money to be put. The mining manufacturing sector, who knew that one day Zambia would be exporting fertilizers? But we're exporting fertilizers today, ceramic tiles, and many other items. All these are measures of confidence that are returning to our economy.
For ZANIS in Lusaka, I am Sande Walia.
Meanwhile, Vice President Malanga has called for enhanced collaboration among different sectors to achieve significant economic growth. Ms. Nalumanga was speaking during the closing ceremony of the training workshop on economic governance for ministers and cabinet officers at the Mlungushi International Conference Center. More in this report.
They have been undergoing a 4-day training on economic governance in a bid to effectively contribute towards achieving the country's economic transformation agenda. Vice President Malanga, who handed over the certificates of completion to the ministers during the closing ceremony in Lusaka, challenged them to effectively collaborate and utilize the knowledge gained to change the economic landscape of the country.
This shows the importance that government places on you, cabinet ministers, who are being trained in the area of development. We are not passing through our offices. We want to leave a very positive footprint in the development of our country. This government team, we are not in competition, we are complementary. This is how I can assure you, colleagues, facilitators, that we will score according to the encouragement that you are giving us, because we are one. We are working together. This is why, for example, we can battle issues that we are battling, like issues of cholera. There is no border. Everybody makes their hands ready to work.
Minister of Livestock and Fisheries Makozo Chikote says the training brings a wealth of knowledge and skills that will enhance efficiency in the public service and contribute to economic growth.
I'm satisfied that from whatever we have learned here, it will add a difference in our different sectors to make sure that we are able to deliver correctly to our people of Zambia. So this training has enhanced us, has motivated us, has rekindled our zeal to provide the service delivery.
And former Secretary to the Cabinet, Leslie Mbola, was also on hand to share the benefits of the training.
So, briefing them about how to handle the economic matters in their ministries was very important. And many of them have expressed happiness about the outcome of this meeting. And what is needed is for the ministers now to ensure that when they go back, they realize what has been discussed. They realize what has been taught to them. They share with their PSs, their directors, and their colleagues so that this thing can become a practical thing.
The first cohort of ministers to undergo the training aimed at enhancing efficiency in the governance system to increase productivity in both the public and private sector. Ntazanga Mumba for ZANIS in Lusaka.
And government says it is in the process of realigning its budget to respond to the drought situation in the country. Chief Government Spokesperson Cornelius Mwitwa says it is concerned with the dry spell the country is currently experiencing, hence the need to realign the budget. Mr. Mwitwa, who is also Minister of Information and Media, said this when he toured the Zambian News and Information Services ZANIS headquarters in Lusaka. More in the following report.
With the dry spell the country is currently facing, government has called on the Zambia News and Information Services, ZANIS, to sensitize people on the impending drought. Government spokesperson, who is also Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius Mwaitwa, made this call when he visited ZANIS headquarters in Lusaka. Mr. Mwaitwa noted that if people are well informed, they can be prepared for the natural calamity.
Imminent disaster arising out of the drought that has hit most parts of the country. As we speak now, even if the rains resumed, most of the crop has already failed. Most of the crop has already dried up. That is where ZANIS comes in, to prepare the mindset of the citizens to know beforehand the impending disaster that we are stuck, with, and there is no hiding place. But when our people are informed well in advance, it helps them to adjust even in their, consumption and spending, habits.
Mr. Mwaitwa said government is concerned with this situation, and President Hakainde Hichilema has called for budgetary realignment to quickly respond to the drought situation.
The President has called for budgetary realignment to focus in the direction of quick response to this particular drought by calling for, irrigation, that we go into irrigation immediately. And I'm sure very soon the Ministry of Agriculture will be announcing the measures that we have put in place to ensure that we respond to this drought before waiting for the next farming season.
Mr. Mwaitwa further said President Hakainde Hichilema also called on commercial farmers to produce more maize.
The President has called on commercial farmers, those who already have center pivots, already established the mechanisms of irrigation with or without rain, during or not during rain season, to produce more maize to mitigate for this poor harvest season.
Jane Simalumba, ZANIS in Lusaka.
We go to Northwestern Province, where reports have emerged that Mufumba district is one area whose maize fields have been critically affected due to climate change and the prolonged dry spell. Take a look at this report.
Preliminary crop surveys conducted recently in Mufumba district indicated an increase in maize production from 38,130 metric tons for the 2022-2023 farming season to 43,982 metric tons for the 2023-2024 farming season. This follows an increase in production from 14,000 hectares for the 2022-2023 farming season to slightly above 16,000 hectares for the 2023-2024 farming season. However, the effect of a prolonged dry spell for a period of 4 weeks in the district is said to affect half of the projected 43,982 metric tons.
There was an overwhelming response from the farmers. Farmers invested a lot into maize production. Our hectareage for the district increased by over 2,000 hectares, from 14,000 for the previous season to over 16,000 hectares for this season. However, this dry spell, prolonged dry spell, means that we're expecting a reduction in production because most of the crop has been affected. From the surveys that we have done as an office, we have over 8,000 hectares affected in the whole district in terms of the dry spell.
Apart from the promotion of afforestation efforts to counteract against the effects of climate change and the emphasis on guaranteed early delivery of inputs, Mufumba District Commissioner Elijah Munyombe appeals for the implementation of irrigation initiatives.
The humble appeal to the government, I think you should come up with communal dams, very big dams. We have got areas like Kamano, areas like Matushi in Matushi ward, Kashima East, Kashima West, Miluch. We have got waterborne or rivers or streams where we can come up with communal big dams. Then those the farmers who depend on rain-fed, they can go into irrigation.
While the farmers look up to government for relief food, Mr. Munyompe suggests that the maize stock in the Food Reserve Agency storage sheds should be the starting point to assist the affected families.
We're totally disturbed and we don't know how we are going to live, where to get food. Because if this were well, we are going to sell and have money that can assist us in our life.
We have already some food storage in the food reserve sheds in every district. I think we should make sure that that food is not imported or exported, it's not exported, so that in preparation for the hunger which we are going to experience this in every district, not only Mufumbo, but most of those districts which have been affected.
Reporting for ZANIS in Mufumbo district, I'm Glad Ngoma.
The news continues. Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius Mwetwa, says government is committed to supporting the operations of the Zambia News and Information Services, ZANIS, for it to operate effectively. Mr. Mwetwa says ZANIS is the biggest media house in the country, but that it is engulfed with various challenges, making it difficult for the institution to carry out its mandate of interpreting government's policies to the Zambian people. Here is a report.
Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius Mwetwa, today visited the Zambia News and Information Services, ZANIS headquarters in Lusaka. Mr. Mwetwa first met heads of departments, where ZANIS Director Lois Saili briefed the minister on the operations of the department.
Our mandate is one, to interpret government policy to the people of Zambia. For instance, when government brings a program like CDF, it's our job as ZANIS to go out, explain to the people what CDF is all about, how they can access funding, how this funding will benefit them, how it will create employment, how to change their lives. And that is exactly what we are doing, Minister.
We have districts where we have offices, we don't have equipment, even just where the officers to sit. So if we can be helped in those areas, really we shall be grateful and the impact will be seen.
The minister, who is also government spokesperson, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting the department.
This new Dawn administration is focusing on CDF. And for CDF to work, ZANIS must show where CDF is working or is not working and be able to understand the reasons why. So for that reason, I commit that the issues you have raised, we will attend to them, and I hope you have a written document so that I will tomorrow be able to put up a concept note on issues that require to be dealt with by government, so that next year, this year, we should not talk about those same issues. Let us have other challenges.
Mr. Mwetwa later toured the department from the newsroom to the maintenance department. Later, the minister addressed the employees and urged management to regulate the accreditation of journalists in the country.
Those documents you call press pass that identify who a journalist is, from which institution, to assist us in these engagements that we have, so that we know that we are dealing with the right people.
Mrs. Saili assured the minister that she will ensure that the accreditation of journalists is well implemented.
It's an issue that we have already discussed
just about 2 weeks ago, I was signing off a number of press passes for our own reporters here and from other media institutions. Even this month, Minister, we have profiled actually to procure more press passes so that we can service as many of our colleagues from both public and private media.
Jane Simalumba, ZANIS, in Lusaka.
We take our first break. Join us for more stories when we return.
Kanti kolera kibutuku manyim. Kolera kibutuku bwa kusululam. Mutia nani butuku bwa kolera utasulula ni kutazam. Mutia kula butuku bwa kolera usulula meza mfutasi na araisi aya kwa mutabanim. Mukuliyo ukato kwa mezi mamubili bakingisa kufufulelwam. Mukuliyo ukona kutimela mwahalalihola zeli shumi kazepeli haiva asafumanilikalafo zambuwam. Mutu kona kuyambula choni butuku bwa koleram. Kunwa mezi asikakeniswa kapa kunwa mezi amasilamu. Kuchalicho ni mazo atezi masila kapa kuitusali apiso zetapisizwe ni mezi amasilamu. Kuchalicho zesika kwaelwa ni kuselezwa kwa linzinzimu. Kuchalicho zelobezi ilizeo alisikabukelezwa handem. Kuchalicho zelekisiwa mama kululum. Kuchalitolwana manicholo ni mulo zesika tapiswamu. Lukona chwani kuiselezwa kwa butuku bwa koleramu. Kuvilisa mezi akunwa kapa kuvea mwateni chlorine. Mfutuma zelicho zamina pili musikali chakalem. Mukwae licho zamina kaufela kulisileleza kwa linzinzimu. Musike mwa chalicho za mama kululum. Mwitu sekali mbalimba nako kaufela. Mi musike mwa itusa bikopo kapa mapepa amuyumba zemasilamu. Mubone kuli mutabani walatelwa mwakalimbalimbamu. Mubone kuli kalimbalimba kamina kakenile nako kaufela manicholo ni kukwaelwamu. Lingosale litakumina kuzwa kubalikolo la maketem.
We continue with the news. Mchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe has praised government for securing a $270 million United States grant from the World Bank towards the rehabilitation of the Serengem-Pika Road and the development of Nakonde one-stop border post. Mr. Sikazwe says the funds which have since been released will facilitate the development of the province and beyond. He says the rehabilitation of the Great North Road will improve transportation of goods and services and enhance trade, not only for the people of Mchinga, but the country as a whole. And Mr. Sikazwe notes that the rehabilitation of Nakonde border post will change the face of the district and increase revenue base for Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA. He was speaking during his tour of Nakonde district.
We are the beneficiary of $270 million US. We are talking about working on the Serengem-Pika Road. It is very critical for us in terms of moving goods from Dar es Salaam port to Zambia and Congo, Zimbabwe, and South Africa, in short. This money will come with a lot of opportunities to our people, especially here in Mchinga province, not to mention Nakonde, who are the beneficiaries. This money will create a lot of employment to our youths. Very, very important for our youths, and also the contractors. I'm hopeful that within this period, a lot of things will happen. Now, with coming up with this amount of money, to Nduma and Nakonde border will be like you are crossing from Europe to France. Very smooth, no hiccups. And the one thing that we can say is to thank the Republican President.
In education news, Eastern Province Minister Peter Phiri has commissioned new classroom infrastructure in Chasefu District built under the Constituents Development Fund, CDF, to alleviate the serious shortage of classroom accommodation in the district. Mr. Phiri has also assured Chiefs Magodi and Pikamalaza of the government's strong resolve to provide necessary support to improve access and the quality of education among rural schools. Details in the following report by Luvasi Mtafela.
Government's efforts in addressing the challenge of classroom accommodation, particularly in rural communities, using the Constituency Development Fund is becoming a reality. Chasefu District has received its share of the CDF and has embarked on constructing several classroom blocks. Eastern Province Minister Peter Perry has commissioned several classroom blocks in the district that has been provided with furniture.
In the last 2 years, we have seen massive critical infrastructure development in this area which cannot go unnoticed. This explains why Chasefu is one of the best performing council in the province with regards to utilization of the Constituency Development Fund, with the burn rate at 76% as of 2023.
Meshek Nyambose is area member of parliament.
The school, Honorable Minister, it was the only block. And this school got damaged, extensively damaged, that the ministry and the government had no alternative but to condemn it. In short, this school was closed. Our children had nowhere to go to. They were risking their lives together with the hard-working teachers. But today, because of the CDF, not only CDF, but the enhanced CDF by our beloved President Hakainde Hichilema has given us money.
The pupils have thanked government for the support.
We are now geared to come to school because our able and responsible government has brought heaven at Champeta Magoti just see. We promise we will cherish this block and be good citizens. Pupils, we are very happy even for the free education the new Dawn government has offered.
Earlier, the minister paid a courtesy call on Senior Chief Magod and Chief Pikamalaza.
Minister CDF yatufika chomene vintu vinandi vifika kutali sono tuvonera pafupi. That's why mwana madando yanandise tirije kozi muri kuti piratu ndrama para kutitonda vintu vititonda iseteka, but otherwise chitukuko chiriko.
Asim Tafela, ZANIS, Chasefu District, Eastern Province.
Senior Chief Shakumbila has issued a stern warning against burning of grass or maize overs in his chiefdom, citing the dry spell's detrimental impact on both his subjects and livestock. Chief Shakumbila says the looming hunger and inadequate grazing resources for livestock is a matter of concern that is likely to worsen. The warning came during a sensitization meeting on rangeland management and establishment held at Senior Chief Shakumbila's palace by the Department of Fisheries and Livestock officers. Here is a report.
As farming land becomes increasingly sought after, communal grazing land is diminishing at a faster rate. In response to the scenario, the government has launched an initiative for rangeland management and establishment in Mumbwa district. Senior Chief Shakumbila has endorsed the initiative and has emphasized strict consequences for those found burning bushes.
Burning of the bushes or grass. I've given a strong warning to my village admin that will take this message to the people in their respective villages. Anyone who will be found doing that should be arrested and will be given 5 strong shamboks from me here, Dagwi Pamebo, Shisoban, to ensure discipline in them. A human being is a difficult animal. You have to give a nice punishment to be a lesson to everybody.
Mumbwa District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator, Dr. Betha Kasanga, is pleased with the deterrent measures implemented by Senior Chief Shakumbila.
I'm very happy that the Chief has stated strongly, issue yoshoka mauzu. Because kushoka uzu na kweve, kwa titandiza kufika pano pamene chidididera. So you can see that when you bend the grass, you bend the roots, meaning every season it is new grass that has to germinate. But when we leave the roots in the ground, they go in deeper. So that grass which has been there for some years will always regeminate, because when animals are feeding, they don't pull out. The animals cut the grass and leave the roots.
Dr. Betha Kasanga now gives the goals of the Rangeland Management and Establishment Project.
The project is about planting trees that are fodder to the animals, that animals can eat. And we believe in planting such trees, it will also discourage the chopping down of those trees to make charcoal. We are here today in this sort of climate because we have been careless. We have allowed people to chop down trees for charcoal, and now the rain has run away. What do we do?
Krugasyankuru, ZANIS, Mumbwa.
The Department of Community Development in Lusaka District is worried that the yield for the 2023-2024 farming season for rain-fed crops under the Food Security Park program will be negatively affected by the current weather pattern. Lusaka District Assistant Community Development Officer Mukatimui Sianga says most of the crops belonging to Food Security Park beneficiaries, such as white maize, green beans and soya beans, have dried up. ZANIS reports that Ms. Sianga was speaking during the District Food Security Park Committee meeting at the District Community Development Office in Lusaka. She explained that the dry spell the country is facing has affected 1,214 beneficiaries in Lusaka District who received farming inputs for the 2023-2024 farming season. She further revealed that the district will implement 3 components of the programs, namely rain-fed cropping, alternative livelihood initiative, both targeting the 1,214 beneficiaries, and wetlands cropping targeting 500 beneficiaries under the Food Security Park program for the 2024-2025 farming season.
The performance of the 2023-2024 farming cropping is quite bad because of the dry spell which we are currently experiencing. As you are aware that as a department we deal with the vulnerable who depend on the rainfall for their farming activities. So with this dry spell which we are experiencing as a country, and Lusaka is one of the districts which is badly hit, our farmers are quite badly hit by this dry spell. The maize, the beans, the soya beans which we gave to them, most of the crops have dried up. So we are not really sure how it will be if this dry spell continues, meaning we will not recover anything from the farmers from this 2023-2024 farming season as compared to how we recovered in the previous years.
In business news, Zanaco Bank PLC has reaffirmed its continued support towards the country's economic transformation through enhancing the empowerment of local communities. Zanaco Chief Executive Officer Mukwandi Chibesakunda has also hailed the media for their commitment in supporting the growth of the financial sector in the country. Speaking at the media cocktail to launch the Zanaco at 55 campaign in Lusaka last night, Ms. Chibesakunda said a sustainable environment and empowered communities are essential ingredients for any economy to thrive. She explained that this is why Zanaco will play a pivotal role in accelerating economic transformation of the country by offering fair financial services and products that promote the growth of well-being of the people in the country. We take another break. More stories when we come back.
Hena korera ninzi, korera mburubazi ibwa kusomwana. Imuntu ujiswa mburubazi ibwa korera, ulasomwana kuluka kapati. Itubi tulamenda menda manji. Imurwazi ulawanyota kapati, agambwa kumana kwa menda mubiri. Imurwazi iwa korera, unga wahwa, umawola alo ali 12, gombo kutita jana busirisi bulika boto. hena munzira ili buti muntu mbwakwanya kujana bulwazi bwa kolera ikunywa menda alo atabikidwe musamu ja tuzunda na menda aji sitombe ikulya chakulya jalo ikubereha manza atasahigwa ikabuto na ikubereha mitima na himwi yalo atasahigwa amimusamu na mwamenda ajisi imusamu walo ja tuzunda ikulya chakulya chitawunikidwe jalo jakhalwa nzinini ikulya chakulya chitontola jalo chalegekwa na jajilo jalo jeneyo tijayobotoka buto ikulya chakulya chamumazira ikulya imijelo na jihumani jalo jatasahigwa kabuto hena munzira ili buti muntu mbwakwanya kugwapira bulwazi bwa kolera ikubona masimpe kuti wapakwananganya kabuto menda akunywa ikuinda mukubona masimpe kuti ajigwa na ikubikwa musamu wa chlorine amusambe mumanze eno kubereha nsipa na menda abikidwe musamu uja tuzunda mwamana kubereha jimbuzi amujisibike nangu jikasaha ichakulya kamutana akuchidya amuhunike ichakulya chindi chonse ikutegwa kuti jitakhalwe nzinini mutali ichakulya chakuwera mumazira amuberehe ichimbuzi chindi chonse amulitanthamune mukubereha igumbuli na tupepa twa plastic mukusowa thupi ambone masimpe kuti thupi twasogwa na ikubikwa mujimbuzi ambone masimpe kuti chimbuzi chindi chonse kachisalala na kachihunikidwe oyi mulumbe waletwa kuli ndunye abamuthabulanga nyanseba mujisiye.
In health news, Mumba District Commissioner Namkulo Hayumbu has called for collective efforts in the fight against cholera. Speaking after inspecting Nalusanga Secondary School girls' dormitories, Ms. Hayumbu commended the pupils for maintaining cleanliness and donated chlorine packs to support their efforts. Details in the following report.
Mumba District Commissioner Namkulo Hayumbu has inspected Nalusanga Secondary School girls' dormitories. Ms. Hayumbu has commended girls at the learning institution for maintaining cleanliness around their dormitories amidst the cholera pandemic.
A bit of chlorine which was brought so that it will help for these the boarders here to use in their drinking water. We'll keep on coming because we have to make sure that we conquer. Cholera cannot conquer us, it's the other way around. But we have to work hand in hand. The school, the children, parents, government, and everyone. It's not one man's activity, no.
Nalusanga Secondary School head teacher says hygiene measures have been put in place for the health of the learners and teaching staff.
And we make sure that in terms of water system, we had also put up the new borehole using the funds that we received as a grant. That's what we did. And we are also sensitizing the children over washing their hands each time they are moving in the school. And the posters were put in place to sensitize them.
Nalisheva Muyambango is one of the pupils who now gives the tips on how to prevent cholera.
We should not eat public food or touch a person anyhow. We don't know where he or she is coming from. Like washing hands and cleaning the environment, even slashing the grasses.
Efforts such as regular cleaning, availability of clean water, and educational initiatives are being undertaken to combat the cholera pandemic at Nalusanga Secondary School. Krugasiankuru, ZANIS, Mumbwa.
The Department of Fisheries and Livestock in Chelenga District in Wapla Province has apprehended 30 fishermen for illegal fishing on Lake Mwelu during fish ban. The department has also confiscated 218 kilograms of assorted fish. More in the following report.
Districts have continued to flout the fish ban regulations. A fish ban patrol, which was conducted yesterday by a combined team of officers from the Department of Fisheries and Livestock and security officers, led to the apprehension of 30 fishermen. Challenge District Fisheries Technician Richard Mono revealed that officers also confiscated 219 kilograms of assorted fish.
Today, around 07 hours, we took a patrol, a water patrol, to go and look for people who are conveying the law or those who are doing fishing during the fish ban. And during this process, we were able to catch about 30 victims who were found with the exhibit or with the fish and the fishing gear. The fish which they were found with, some were found with the juvenile assorted, which is mixed with the snails, that is 145 kgs. And then some were found with the cynodontis, which is commonly known as the kabombora, which was about 66 kgs. So all in all, these are the number of kgs that we had. When we put them together, it was 219 kgs.
Mr. Mono has since advised fishermen to exercise patience, as only a few days are remaining to have the ban lifted.
We must have patience, as well as to respect this lake, because this is their livelihood, not us. With us, when this fish will be over, will be taken elsewhere. But them, they will need to remain here. So what are they going to do? So they should give time for breeding of the fish and also to grow. So that when they start fishing, at least they have good fish size to sell, as well as the lake to have a good stock, which is the fish population. We advise them that they should use the right gear and also to come and buy licenses. By 1st March, we'll start selling the fishing licenses according to the type of fish that they want to fish.
Government effects the annual fish ban from December 1st to March 1st in order to allow the fish to breed. Yvonne Nombo reporting for ZANIS News in Chilenge District.
We go back to Mchinga Province, where ZANIS staffer Titani Zulu reports that Nakonde Urban Clinic has been vandalized by unknown people. Nakonde Urban Clinic Medical Officer in charge, Kanza Kalambote, has confirmed the incident to ZANIS in Nakonde. Details in the following report.
An unknown group of people has caused significant damage to the maternity wing at Nakonde Urban Clinic in Nakonde District. While the intention behind the vandalism is not yet known, outsiders who witnessed the ordeal are calling for heightened security to prevent any further incidents.
So abanandi bachisafunika ine pabenchi perapo nachikala nachila mwana kafone so fona chisasha kafone pabenchi efe ine nachisa bolela mbule kafone kubolela mbule kafone nachisalulesha kudoko wale kutoba nachisa mona umwa umomo nalonesha na pansi umbe chini ofisadi light achita chikwanta kumile kulecha chamne kakati machete wala umbe chimini na panshi hapo panshi cement hapo wena chimini na fyefu vachitwalirira kutoba
security kuti yawamba popano vatubikireko security pakwe vati yavarevomba bwino amanesezi.
With the perpetrator still at large, the clinic in charge has expressed concern over the incident.
We are hoping with this police of CDF which has come to help Nakonde Urban Clinic to be offensed. Once we have a offense, I think we are going to minimize the vandalism. Even this, we are near other country, our neighbor country there. Some of the citizens from the other side might come to Nakonde and operate. After operations, they leave and disappear.
Authorities have been notified and an investigation is currently underway to bring the offenders to book. Titani Zulu reporting for ZANIS in Nakonde District.
As we end the news, Paramount Chief Mpezeni of Chipata has shifted from his Ependukeni Palace to Laweni Palace in Mtenguleni area ahead of the spectacular Ntwala traditional ceremony to be held this Saturday. The Paramount Chief led the procession from Feni area in Wangeni, while a long convoy of escorting motor vehicles followed behind as the procession passed through the central business district, with multitudes lining up the streets to catch a glimpse of the Nkosi Yamankosi. President Hakainde Hichilema will grace this year's ceremony. As we end the news, a recap of stories that made headlines. President Hichilema commits to working with diverse stakeholders. Government to realign national budget. Government ponders to aid ZANIS. Plus all set for Ntwala ceremony. That's all we had on the news. Thank you so much for watching.